for Oduamne, and if he doesn't get Nidalee, he normally falls back on the more tanky top laners. We don't really have to say, but Maokai is of course going to be a big deal for both top laners here. Should be a ban from SK Prime in this game, as they are not on red side, unless they want to get two very strong picks themselves and just trade it for the Maokai.
Well, let's see. So far, as we kind of expected, I think, coming into this game, 3 bans down, 4 bans down, and all of them aimed at the mid laners. Syndra, Xerath taken away against What the Fox, Kassadin, Orianna taken away from Febiven. There is finally something a little bit different, though, as Lucian is banned out. You talked already about the fact that Zzz is one of the few AD carries that's still really relying on Lucian.
He loves to play it, and it seems like he prefers to play these mid-game AD carries like Corki and Ezreal and then Lucian. Now it's banned away, might fall back on his Ezreal, we've seen it before. Otherwise, if he wants to go for a late game carry, I would expect it to be Tristana as the one he would pick up, but let's see. Maokai is open. Should be H2k's first pickup here.
Reinhardt was the final ban. Already said the fact that Trashy actually played that throughout their games in the semi-finals as well, so we'll see how that actually works out for them. So taking the time here to lock in that first champion, I highly doubt that it'll be a first pick Akali.
I just want to look very quickly on SK Prime's bans again. The fact they banned Orianna in every single game they've played here in the playoffs, except for one where NIP banned it. So clearly, What the Fox does not want to play against Orianna because she's a bit of a lane bully, and that he wants to be able to control the lane here, but wow, no Maokai. No
Maokai, at least for now. Jarvan has been a big pick, actually, for Kikis throughout of this. And that Kikis, the Kikis What the Fox combo of Orianna Jarvan that we saw actually in that final earlier on against the Ninjas in Pajamas was pretty scary stuff. In the end, though, we do see Jarvan will be chosen here for Kikis, and they also take Zaitan for Thresh.
But we really see how important the Nidalee pick is for H2k, seeing as they take it instead of their Maokai. So full focus on split push from Oduamne here from the start. We'll leave the Maokai open for SK Prime, but that's going to be more of a teamfight focus. He won't be able to deal with Nidalee in this one-on-one split push here, but there. Thresh being locked in for Zaitan. Been a big pick for him. Him and Zzz like to play aggressive in the lane, and often people say SK Prime has to win the bottom lane to actually win the games. Therefore, Thresh comes in as a all-around just great support.
So, what are they going to be going on to here? With the fact that they've got the choice now to maybe lock in that bottom lane. We'll take a very strong lane here as well if they do lock in the Kog'Maw and Morgana, which they do.
Yeah, one of the strongest lanes at the moment, just if you look at the entire game, because it becomes so hard to kill the AD carry in the late game teamfights when there's a Morgana with the Black Shield. And also, Morgana works so well together with chain CC. So if there comes in like an Elise jungle or pick a mid laner with some CC, they can combine it with the binding, with the stun from Morgana and whatever CC they bring, otherwise to just lock down a target. And then I get all the single target damage now from both Oduamne and Yanin, and therefore H2k already setting up here for both some split push, but also the fact you can now keep possibly 4 members in the mid lane to siege down towers, disengage, or land a binding, and then go for a kill.
So let's have a look then at the top lane here. We're seeing Aurelia picked in. Again, a champion which we've seen Smitty J already choose in the past. Actually played against NIP, if memory serves me correctly there. And also taking Corki. So Zzz with that Lucian banned against him, we expected him to fall back to the Ezreal, to the Corki, those mid-game power spiking champions. He's going to do that here today as well.
It worked really well against NIP because they kept forcing teamfights in the mid-game, and NIP kept, for some reason, joining the fights. So SK Prime would just win them, take control of the game, and snowball it. They're looking to do the same. Irelia and Corki is all about hitting the Trinity Force as early as possible and get your mid-game power spike and just look for fights.
So Ahri then will be locked in here for H2k. Saw it, of course, in the mid lane with Febiven in that match against the UOL, actually in the final game of that best of 3. Also picking up Lee Sin for the jungle here for Trashy.
So a little bit surprised about the Lee Sin, but it's because normally when I see Trashy, it's Jarvan, it's Rengar, both been picked away or banned away from him, so has to fall back on Lee Sin. A lot of early game pressure still. Slightly weaker team fight than before here in this patch because he no longer has the reduced attack speed on his E, which was at least one thing he could use against the enemy AD carry. Wouldn't have mattered too much against a Corki, however. And, oh, okay.
Well, I said when they were hovering over it, it's not going to be a first pick Akali. It will actually be a last pick Akali for us here. And it's going to be What the Fox playing again. And definitely a champion that he can carry on. If you get going with this Akali, so ridiculously strong.
Very true. However, Lee Sin has always been a great jungler against Akali because you have stealth detection. You can use it once What the Fox jumps into your team. You make sure you get vision of him, and then you can actually just burst him down unless he gets an hourglass. Should be a pretty good pick against Ahri here because you can follow her when she jumps around. You have a lot of burst. Not too sure about the matchup itself. We have to see how it works. But What the Fox is definitely not as afraid of pulling out something new.
Well, it kind of had to as well. If he went down the bans there, Syndra, Xerath, Kassadin, Orianna, all banned out against the mid lane. Not leaving all that much left over for them. Akali here for What the Fox is going to be brilliant. And guys, now that the champions have been picked, who do you guys think will take this match? Send a tweet to @LOL eSports with hashtag H2k-Win or hashtag SKP-Win, and we'll check out the results shortly. The vote from LOL eSports, don't forget, 65% in favor of SK-Gaming Prime. They may just have won a few votes just for that Akali pick.
I mean, it's always fun when we see new picks. With Swain yesterday, I was crazy because he's one of my favorite champions, and we don't often see him. Same for Kali. Voyboy played him. I remember Overpowered played him once against the Nidalee and destroyed the Nidalee. So a bit of a pocket pick here. Must be a counter from What the Fox against Ahri. So we have to see what he can do in the lane. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Trashy put a lot of focus on trying to shut down Akali early.
Going to be an interesting one, and we heard from Trashy himself saying that Kikis has to be literally everywhere across the map because he believes that H2K are just across the board stronger than SK Gaming Prime. We're going to find out here as we go into game number 1 of this best of 5 series. And H2K on the blue side for the first match. We'll see how big carry Febivan is going to go up against his opposite number and kind of jostling for the spotlight, I think, here. In fact, the funny thing is, if you look at the challenger scene, the mid laners are so good and have proved to be over this week.
It's always been the story here in Europe. We had great mid laners, and we just see it once again. Power of Evil yesterday was fantastic from Unicorns of Love. We have seen Febivan and What the Fox carry games. The teams always talk about how good the mid laners are. And we often see them on these assassin types where they can snowball and take control of the entire game. So really looking forward to see what's going to happen here with their Akali pick.
So in terms of lanes, at least for now, is AOD going to land the first binding of the match there onto Zaitan.
2 gold.
Inside, 2 gold. Inside of the Death Brush. So nice little start for him. Just practicing those skill shots. We'll see how that one all works out. In the mid lane though, this Ahri versus Akali matchup going to be so interesting to watch.
And again, SK Prime, they love to play for the mid game. Same deal, we talked about how Irelia and Corgi gets the Trinity Force, and then you look for fights here. Otherwise, H2k in the late game, the Nidalee will be able to one-on-one on Irelia and just split push all day long. And Yanin as well will just scale to become the monster we know in the late game. So H2k might not look to be too aggressive in the early game, other than around the mid lane to shut down What the Fox.
Oh.
We have to see.
See how much early aggression they're going to put in here. Hyana and AOD waiting inside of the brush. There's a second binding coming out and will land as well onto Zaitan. So AOD getting the mind games warmed up for this bottom lane matchup. Kog'Maw, Morgana versus Corki and Thresh. Be interesting. We picked out earlier on that bottom lane for both of these teams could be really important with the fact that Ziz has struggled a little bit in previous games.
Yeah, not been the best showing here in the playoffs, but he used to be, or he's normally a very consistent AD carry, but he also, again, he picks for the lane. When Lucian was very strong in the lane, he would pick it pretty much every single game, otherwise he would fall back on Corgi, which also is a very strong laner. So he's all about his early mid game. It's where he wants to shine, he needs to win the laning phase and do well in the first few team fights. Otherwise, again, he won't be able to have the same impact in the late game as we see from other AD carries. And we just have Millennium played, and they had Lucian and Corgi in the first 2 games and simply got outscaled. Often here now the hyper carries, late game hyper carries, is the best thing to play. So not the style from Z's, we have to see what he can do.
This man as well, going to be all important. In fact, both of them as well, very talented junglers. Trashy and Kikis. Saw Kikis in that game against NIP. The way that he worked with What the Fox was particularly impressive. Trashy not without it, and I have to comment on AOD once again. We've seen, I think, 5 bindings now come out of him. All of them have actually landed. Let's see if Smitty J will survive this one. Lee Sin coming in, already under the tower. Not sure if they're going to want to dive that one. Bit dangerous against Irelia.
Yeah, especially so early on. You don't really have the HP to dive here, but oh, Trashy might find Kikis.
You're gonna land into that one. We actually have them even coming up as well, and Kikis having to slide his way out of that one, getting dangerously low. There was no cover back around from What the Fox. He was just having some free time to farm up in that lane once Febiven left it.
Look up here in the top lane. Big lead for Nidalee early. Already pushed it in. Smitty has to now farm on the tower and just pick up as much as possible. And he's taking a lot of damage. Now they can actually dive him.
They're gonna go for it. Smitty's actually got no mana left there. Odo Amne just going in, and there is a flash. Trashy will pick up the kill, and first blood for H2k. So much damage out of Odo Amne there early on.
First pick Nidalee. It was spanned in every single game in the semifinal against H2k, and we just see here why it was banned and why they didn't take Maokai for Odo Amne up in his top lane. Nidalee is the pick. Smitty, big trouble early on. Irelia cannot fall behind. She needs to hit an early 24s and then get some tank items, otherwise she will be useless in team fights.
Ooh, nice little charm there from Febiven onto What the Fox. Lost about half of his health as well. Those charms are going to be a constant pressure for him. What the Fox doing a good job here though of keeping up on farm. In fact, has a 5 CS lead after Febiven did wander up there as he tried to take down Kikis just a little bit before. And speaking of that top lane where Odo Amne got the first blood, now has a longsword and a second Doran's blade as well. That's bad news for Smitty.
Yeah, and he also used teleport back to the lane because we do have standard lane, so you don't really have to worry about the dragon at this point. So just instant return to the lane, back to pushing it into the tower once again. Not even gonna be surprised if Trashy moves up to this top lane, because Smitty's down to 50%, they can dive him again. Didn't use the flash last time. Still, I mean, it's pretty unfair at the moment. He's just standing at the tower, and yet Odo Amne keeps hitting him.
And that's the problem that you're going to have. We're getting to that range of Nidalee, able to heal himself up, and we've seen already, if you try and challenge him, if you try and trade off, he'll just go straight into Cougar form and burst you down. Kikis, though, is coming towards his top lane. Well, there's your other strength of the Nidalee. With the pounce away, it makes you very hard to lock down.
Especially for Jarvan, because you want to... Normally on Jarvan, oh, you're actually going for it, but normally on Jarvan here, you want to dash in and hope they flash, and then you jump with your ult after level 6, and they're kind of stuck. Nidalee doesn't really have the issue, can always jump out. And Odo Amne, even though he doesn't have a flash at the moment, not really scared. He's even looking to poke Kikis a little bit.
What the fuck? Yeah, keeping up on that farm. Actually, a lot of damage being exchanged here. There is Ignite now. What the Fox is dead. Feb even getting the better of him there. And a 1 versus 1 as soon as level 6 was hit.
So Trashy talked about how H2k have better laners and Kikis needs to be in every single lane and try and snowball every single lane, otherwise H2k will win the game. Both solo laners just got 2 early kills, or well, 1 early kill, and then Trashy got the kill up in the top lane, but still, the solo laners from H2k really doing a good job here early on. And What the Fox just caught by surprise, to be honest.
It's really actually coming out here, trying to do some damage there onto Odo Amne, stop him getting bullied in this lane. That 10 CS lead for Odo Amne after the kill that they got earlier onto Smitty continues to cause Smitty a few little problems. 46 to 40 CS now, so considering that, considering he's been on his turret for this pretty much entire time, not doing all that bad, to be honest.
No, and kind of kept the CS the same the last few minutes. Let's see, oh, Z's taking a lot of damage down his bottom lane.
Yeah, good trade back though. Hyonan actually going pretty low. There's the hook, they're going to catch Hyonan. Can they finish him off? Z's is actually pretty low himself. Summon a heal and flash user. Zaitan is going to tank up a hit from the tower. They force Hyonan away, and I think he's just going to recall straight out of lane. And now Trashy's coming in, but nothing really there for the taking.
No, we had a ward. It just disappeared as he moved in, so he managed to spot him and ping him out and go back to base here. Nice little trade in the mid lane. What the Fox just hit level 7 as well. Constantly looking to trade with Febiven here. Didn't see much help from Kikis though in any lane. He was up in the top lane once. That's been about it.
Yeah, been farming here, trying to get himself up. 35 CS currently. If we look at that top lane once again, we see makings of the Phage for Smitty J, and the Phage already picked up for Odo Amne, so could be more of a tough time for Smitty coming in. We see if you look at the teleport cooldowns that they'll both be back and available here pretty shortly as the mid lane is going to start to move away and get themselves the first blue buffs of the game.
We do see SK Prime's bottom lane with a small lead and almost picked up a kill for Yanan here before, so they are at least putting some pressure with the Corki, as they have to do in this laning phase. But I want to see them set up a Lantern gank now together with Kikis, because there's no flash on Yanan, so if he actually pushes out the wave, it's going to be easy to set up with Jarvan jumping in, ulti onto him, and he won't be able to escape. For now, he's still farming. He is ahead compared to Trashy. He's not been active at all.
See the ward over the top of the wall there from AOD. They've got nothing in the tri-bush, so wanted to make sure that they at least have vision in case Kikis was about to dive over the top of the wall onto them. As you mentioned, Kikis been pretty quiet up until now. After Trashy made that bold statement saying that H2k are stronger in the lanes, I expected maybe a bit more. There's a 50-50 vote, just as we were maybe thinking it was going to be, as Trashy again coming towards that top side. There's the flash into the kick. Smitty in a lot of trouble. Jarvan coming across though, and now they're going to lock up Trashy. Can they actually finish off Smitty? Trashy goes low. Will Safeguard away, but Cataclysm comes down. Kikis gets himself the kill. Not going to follow on to Odoram there though. Nice comeback gang.
And the Q from Trashy here, it actually hit a minion, so he wasn't able to get it on Smitty and finish him here in the very end. Therefore, very nice counter gank from Kikis with the Jarvan, and now down this bottom lane. Hook misses, and Save goes for binding. So just pushing it in, trying to deny some farm. This top lane tower is going to take a lot of damage though.
Odoram trying to hold on to it. They're actually going to dive in on top of him here. Odoram having to flash away. Will be able to pounce. Actually, he just switched out there to heal up. Will get the cooldown off and is able to get out of danger, but his tower might not be so lucky here. We'll see with that next wave actually coming around. Actually, Febiven is going to come in from the side. There is Smitty J going to go over the top. Sorry, kick is straight up into him. Febiven gets that one kill. Smitty going to be the next target here. Spear will come in and land, and there's the burst from Nidalee. It's a double kill for Febiven as What the Fox comes around the side. He's trying to get onto him. Chalmers landed though. What the Fox, can he get the kill? No, he's going to go down. Odoamne gets that one. And just like that, SK Prime losing 3 kills.
Yeah, so not only did What the Fox join the party very late, once he actually came in here, he tried to pick up a kill, and it was just completely backfired. Everything here from SK Prime, the nice counter gank, backfired, multiple kills for H2k here. Febiven, instant DFG. Very early, 10 minutes, 11 minutes in, he's gonna look to just walk around the map now. Whatever member from SK Prime he finds, he can just burst him down.
So Trashy going to try and help out this bottom lane. He's actually gone over a pink ward here. And the Q not quite landed. Hit a minion actually in front of them as Odoamne taking big damage here from Smitty J. He actually just TP'd straight into the lane with that phage. Tried to get the kill. Here's Trashy maybe in a little bit of trouble as well, but I think he's just going to go and walk out of that one. Jarvan coming down to stop any possible gank there coming out of Trashy. Meanwhile, Febiven, as you mentioned, DFG after pretty much 10 minutes into this one. That's going to make him a real big threat to anyone. There's no real tankiness. Negatron Cloak actually picked up there by What the Fox in the mid lane to try and keep himself alive. But
it was just SK Prime being a bit over-aggressive in the top lane. They stayed at the tower. Once again, they actually went for the second kill onto Odoamne here, tried to force him away from the tower, and therefore they stayed. And What the Fox in the mid lane was not in a position to move at first. And once Febiven moved, he just reacted way too late, which ended up giving all the kills to H2k. Will be a dragon, however. Very needed. They have to get all the dragons here in the early mid-game, because they do have Corki, because they do have Aurelion.
Leaves them though still behind here on gold by about 800. Febiven started stealing Wraith camps as well, so this area really starting to charge up now with that DFG in there. Able to get a few jungle camps stolen away. Will he actually go in here onto What the Fox? He has his ultimate available. Let's see if he decides to go for it. Trashy waiting around. What the Fox, I think there just got a bit of a sniff that something might be up after Febiven took that ward and didn't reappear in the mid lane, and wisely just backs away to safety so that he can't get attacked by either of them. Although Febiven here gonna step forward. Is he gonna go for it? There it is. The charm managing to land. What the Fox going dangerously low already. DFG actually used very late though in that fight.
So couldn't really use it early here because he was actually stealth, I believe, from What the Fox. Otherwise he would have instant DFG'd him and just bursted him down. Will still be a tower, so yes, you miss a kill. You now get a tower though, you can push up to the next one. Kikis has to come in and defend.
He is moving in here, but he's going to have to take the long route around. What the Fox actually maybe waiting to get involved on this end.
That
the charm, Kikis goes
stupid.
down. The kick into the charm. Brilliantly done. Odoamne and Smitty J also going to have a bit of a fight. Odoamne diving back in. Masses of damage again. Can he get the final blows of it? Dodging out from the spear. Odoamne not going to go under the tower.
What on earth was the play in mid lane from Kikis? What the Fox was very low. He would be able to jump in, but it would have been so risky. And Kikis just jumped in and instantly H2k just killed him. I mean, he's not tanky enough here in the early game to survive those two people bursting him down. So some very aggressive plays by SK Prime, but clearly not working. H2k is ready, and especially this mid lane has gone completely out of control.
3-0-2 for Febiven. DFG going to be back on cooldown as they get themselves back into the lane, and we'll see if that will turn into another straight all-in from Febiven, which he can afford to do at this point. He is stronger. He either gets the kill or forces What the Fox to back away from it. Basically easy times for him then in that mid lane. But here we see the roam from What the Fox coming down bottom. Hook does land onto AOD. Did have his black shield on though, so the CC can't follow up. This could be a 4-man dive towards that bottom lane. They need to start running now. Kyanan on the tower. He's going to fall from this one. Not much that he can do. There's a binding. Oh, he's already used the ignite though. What the Fox here going to take a tower hit, but he can't get in with the passive. And What the Fox is able to live. This should be a tower unless Trashy and Febiven can get in there to stop it. Kikis has already evacuated. Zaitan's pretty low. AOD going to step forward. Can he land the binding?
There's so many kills.
The pull coming down. Febiven is going to get hooked here. Are they going to have to be able to dodge him down quick enough? The exhaust is onto him as well. Manages to get one. It's a double kill though for Trashy. There is the kill. Trashy's going to go down though afterwards. And in the end, it's a big old mess in the bottom lane.
That was such a nice hook here from Zaitan to just set it up. They got so much damage on Febiven early on. He wasn't able to just jump around and kite them. And we also saw Smitty teleport in, pick up the last kill onto AOD. So we got some early kills now. We got a tower as well. Let's just see it again. Zaitan with his hook onto Febiven so to get so much damage onto him before he can start dashing around. Also the exhaust. He does take What the Fox down. Early double kill for Trashy. Z's though, he won't go down. Pick up a kill. Smitty recall behind here. And we'll just finish off Morgana.
And they get the tower as well. Looking at the gold, still leaves H2k in the lead. Pretty much that extra tower that they have is the sum of their gold at this point. Still have to say, despite Febiven going down there, 3-1-3 Ari got himself the blasting wand and tome as well. So looking like he's going to be going straight into a void staff second item, and may even have that in time for the dragon here, which is just under 2 minutes time if you can farm it up well enough.
And let's see here. SK Prime picked up the last dragon. Again, we keep talking about how they make game. It's very strong for them, so they should be looking to fight in this all around the dragon. They need to get some good wards up though, because if H2k take control of the river and just wait and you have Morgana and Ari, just one of them land their skill shot. We always talk about how you then follow up with the next one, and there's so much damage on Febiven's side with the DFG. Whatever target it is going to die. But keep in mind, Smitty has to build his Trinity Force as a first item on Aurelia. He needs the damage. So he's not tanky at all for this first team fight. It's going to be all about Kikis actually going in first. But we did see what happened when he did it in the mid lane against Trashy and Febiven. He just died instantly. So really risky for SK Prime if they don't get control of the dragon area first and get some good wards down.
He is a bit tankier now. Got himself that Giant's Belt in there. But on the other side, Trashy got himself that Sight Stone and a Giant's Belt as well. So we'll see here, because SK Prime already getting in position to get ward coverage down. 2 wards always better than 1 in one area. It's going to be harder for them to clear them both off. That's the obvious thinking behind that one.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, you're not wrong. Smith over the top lane. Didn't get his Trinity Force yet. But Odoamne did on Italy and just already took the top tower because Smitty teleported down to this bottom lane. And just focusing on the next one. Good old Nidalee. People said they didn't like the AP style of just landing the spears and poking in the mid lane. Now we're back to the old school, where you just split push all day long and you can never really get ganked. Lovely.
Lovely indeed. Old school. Now H2k moving in towards the dragon. Pink ward down. 5 seconds until it actually spawns in. Nidalee not there. TP is available. Smitty not there. He doesn't have a TP, so This could turn into a 5 versus 4. Basically, Smitty has to follow him and try and stun him up here to stop that teleport going through, but we can see he's already moved around. This is going to be a 5v4. Nidalee coming in here behind by that blue buff. They've actually spotted him, but Zaitan caught out of position. Trashy going to follow him over. Box goes down, but that won't be enough to save him. And H2k pick up the kill. Now they're going to maybe look to head off Smitty J. They saw him coming down there. SK Prime actually going aggressive. Kikis is going to go in. He gets charmed and blown up, but AOD in the middle of the team won't even get a chance to proc his ultimate, and that will be a 2 for 2.
So because the ulti was already used by February here, and the SK Prime actually got some pretty good poke from Z's onto H2k, they managed to re-engage with only 4 members, pick up some kills. This mid lane tower will take some damage. Z's is there to try and defend it. Only a few minions. Let's get the replay once again. We're actually straight into the fight. Kikis dies instantly as he engages, but it's all about SK Prime. First of all, waiting for Smitty to join, and then also landing a lot of poke while Zaitan went down. Therefore feel they can disengage, get it 2 for 2. Dragon is still alive. And because H2k just used some time in this mid lane, didn't actually instantly recall.
Odoamne was maybe going to do it there with Hjarnan, but deciding against it wisely so as well. There was a ward down inside of the Dragon Pit. SK Prime have obviously seen them back away now. Doesn't look like they're quite ready yet just to move down there and start for the fight. Funnily enough though, all their ultimates pretty much off cooldown at this point. Kikis didn't even use his, of course, in that last fight. Again, was charmed very early and just blown up.
Yeah, it's not fun being their frontline engage at the moment when you're against so much burst damage from an very, very fit Ahri. You just jump in, and you know if the charm hits you, you will die.
So fed Nidalee as well. 3-0-2 for Odoamne with that Trinity Force. Got himself the cowl as well as Febiven here waiting, but stood on top of a wall. Will Zaitan be able to pull off something nice with the hook? Actually, it doesn't look like it. They decided to back away. H2k are going to start to move over towards the Dragon.
And SK Priming is out of position here. Z's coming from the mid lane, was just back in base. Teleport coming in, they're looking to fight.
Coming out there, Trashy at the front, the binding comes through, doesn't land though. SK Prime have got a Dragon that's already down to half HP. Can they actually be able to take this one? No, Trashy gonna steal, flashes out of it. The hook doesn't land. What the fuck's up to the side? That was so close. That charm would have landed, he was probably a dead man. H2k managed to get the Dragon and back away. They're gonna have to try and loop around though to defend their mid tower.
Yeah, SK Prime is not done just yet. They might have lost the Dragon. We're still looking to pressure this mid lane. Oh, they're going for the fight, actually.
Well, Kikis is going for the fight. At least What the Fox here is going to be going down. And this could be a whitewash fight. Zaitan gets stunned up. He will fall as well. It's a 4 for nothing. It might be an ace if Ziz is not careful. Actually, we'll be able to just walk away from it. H2k here, 21 minutes in, are going to turn for Baron. Again, Kikis all alone.
All alone, very squishy. What the Fox was down to 50% as well. While the AD carry is sitting in the mid lane, and yet SK Prime went in for the engage. Hjarnan wasn't even alone. Trashy was there to help him. And this might be a Baron. It's gonna be a Baron from H2k. So, we keep, again, SK Prime, they know they have to make plays in the mid game. We know they are very aggressive. It just doesn't work when you are so far behind already and you are completely split up. Again, Zeus was sitting in the mid lane, the AD carry. Pretty easy team fight for H2k to win.
Yeah, because it wasn't really a team fight. That's really the point of it. Kikis diving in. It was a good kick actually from Trashy there though, managing to knock a couple of them up as he sent him flying back. Well, that will be the Baron here for H2k. A 6,000 or 5,500 gold lead for them. And now with that Baron buff on, could be difficult here for SK-Gaming Prime to actually hold on to these waves. Hold on to these turrets, sorry, with the distinct lack of major wave clear coming out as well from them.
It's gonna be all about Z's and then Smitty using his ulti, clear the waves. But H2k at the moment can have Nidalee in one lane, and then they can either take 4 members in the mid lane, or they can even take Febiven because he's so farmed at the moment and put him in a different lane as well. So you do this 1-3-1, and whatever target goes to challenge Odoamne or Febiven one-on-one will lose, and therefore H2k can push in every single lane and always get damage on towers. And if you do get one kill, you just open up the entire map and you can just go to whatever tower or whatever lane the person died in from SK Prime and take the tower. So a lot of options here. For now, they're actually keeping AOD and Hjarnan down this bottom lane because the tower isn't even dead. So they're just gonna push it in, only What the Fuck is there to defend.
shouldn't be too much of a problem for them to finish that off. odoamne as well has managed to get this inner turret in the top lane down to less than half HP. Are they actually going to tank? That's a nice ultimate over the top. Reveals two of them, and Febiven's actually coming around. Here comes Trashy. He's missed his Q, but Febiven's going to go over the wall. DFG flashed away there, and the DFG landing, but none of the follow-up. It was a good flash from Zaitan, but that's his turret now going down, and maybe an inner if they're not careful.
Yeah, just force them away here. Got a flash from the Zaitan as well, and the tower. And up in his top lane, Smitty has to go back to base, even though he actually didn't lose too much HP, but it's so hard for him to deal with odoamne. odoamne lost second tower now, just one-on-one to this Nidalee in the top lane.
Yarnan having a dance there in front of the tower as they wait for this next wave to come up. Nidalee gonna keep pushing. Actually, Warden's mail was picked up there by Smitty, so trying to get a bit of tankiness behind him to deal with odoamne, but pretty hard when he gets that E down, giving the heal. There's a big charm on towards Z's. Can they finish him? No. Z's having to flash away, and with the AD carry so low, this next wave might be enough here. I think they're going to back off.
And again, one of the reasons everyone at the moment loves to play these small pick siege comps in the way we have Morgana support, sometimes Elise jungle, and you have like Ahri, lands the charm, land the binding. You just combine them and you just burst down these targets here. And they're very popular, especially Morgana. It's been actually the top support if you look at the quarterfinals from the LCS. One of the only supports who didn't actually get touched by the patch, where both Thresh and Braum, of course, got nerfed a little bit. She just stayed the same. And is oh so good, especially also with these hyper carries because of the Black Shield in the late game.
And another thing we were talking about, Lee Sin, almost say a counter to Akali with that whole revealing stealth thing. We just saw that odoamne, of course, can just throw his trap right next to him, so that if Akali steps forward, gets the reveal anyway. H2k definitely in the driving seat of this match. No inner turrets left. It's all about the base now of SK-Gaming Prime.
Let's see here, moving towards the blue buff. I believe they actually took it before, now they're going to take it now. So small minion there. Dragon is up in about a minute. Otherwise, H2k might just chill a little bit. Let Nidalee do her job in this top lane. She's been doing all game long. And then wait for Dragon to take it. Can even wait, or don't have to wait for the next Baron, but then start pushing up again after the Dragon, after they pick up some more items here. Push up a lane. Once the Baron respawns, you move down. You get full wall control again in the jungle, and you just start setting it up. You have Morgana and Ahri to pick off whatever target is moving in, and then you can take Nidalee and move to whatever lane to apply pressure.
You have to wonder, when we're on the topic of Nidalee, why you let that through. You know that odoamne is going to play it. You know that he's going to, if you don't ban it out, you know that he's good. I mean,
true, but do you want to play against Maokai?
Well, yeah, that's the difference, I suppose.
So the reason they didn't ban any of them was like, okay, you can get Nidalee, and we will consider taking a Maokai. Didn't take it.
But then they took Irelia.
Took Irelia. Not sure why. Could have been because they wanted to try and contest the Nidalee in the one-on-one and hope that Smitty could do it. But it's definitely not been working for him. Lost 2 towers. And never really has a chance to actually jump odoamne. He can always just escape.
odoamne is starting to get his tanky items in now. That Spirit Visage done. Glacial Shroud in there as well. Dragon being taken by 2 men of H2k, and there's going to be no challenge here. Now you feel it's about the next couple of minutes here with Baron coming up in 1 3/4. Wards are already in position for H2k. Got a couple of pink wards spread around. No vision for SK-Gaming Prime though.
No, but are doing the 1-3-1 I talked about earlier now, where they kept Febiven in one lane, odoamne in a different one, and then you just have these 3 members sitting in the mid lane, and they can now roam between the lanes. If they get a kill somewhere, you go get a tower in whatever lane it is. And also, if you do hit a charm onto an AD carry, you kill him.
If you hit a charm onto pretty much anyone, you kill him at this point. And is one fed Ahri, DFG, Void Staff, and Rabadon's Death Cap now. Not something that you really want to be going up against. They have to kill Febiven straight away if it comes to a team fight. Otherwise, he's just going to rip through them. Still a minute until the Baron actually comes into play. See that Febiven and Trashy here trying to work on that bottom lane. odoamne continues to push the top lane. Will continue to cause Smitty J all kinds of problems. There's not really a lot that he can do because he just backs away, heals himself up, and then steps straight back up and auto attacks the tower. Meanwhile, Hjarnan not scared of getting involved here with that long range. That turret also down to about half. There's a hook on towards Trashy. He will simply safeguard out.
And all the kills and action in the mid lane in the early game simply meant SK Prime never had a chance to do anything in the mid game because What the Fox fell so far behind. Feverin got all the early kills. Yes, okay, you have a Corki strong in the mid game, but it's not enough when you're against such a fed Ahri early on. And Kiki's looking for the fight here. Let's see what I can do.
Well, What the Fox here is going to be in trouble. Actually manages to get himself the one kill. Actually was stolen away by Z's, but What the Fox will go down in the end. And that is a lot of kills coming in for H2k. Simply stronger right now. There is Febiven diving in. Z's will go down. Zaitan is low as well. They did manage to kill off Ahri, but the tower is going to fall. No minions just yet. Trashy's going to have to tank that one.
Oh, could be kill.
That might be enough. No, he flashes away. Turret goes down. In will follow.
So the engage from SK Prime, they know they're gonna lose these towers if they don't do anything, so try to go for the engage. They get a kill early on onto Yanan, just wasn't enough here. Feverin joined in, killed 2 members, died himself. Inhibitor still went down here, but SK Prime, they know in this situation, we're gonna lose our towers. We have to just engage. You see even Smitty moving down from his top lane. They go in, What the Fox gets, or C, sorry, gets the first kill onto Yanan. But from now on, it's just gonna be cleanup crew. Feverin joins in, wants to actually go for the dive on the Z's. Gonna backfire, nice little play by Zaitan to get the kill, but 3 members still alive. Take the tower, take inhibitor, base is open.
Just send them, or go back home and heal up and then come straight in towards a Baron. We've seen a couple of items added in as well. Static Shiv for Cogmore, Frozen Heart for Nidalee, Aegis on Morgana, Randuin's Omen on Lee Sin. Big items coming up across the board there for H2k after that push. And now, can they actually just walk in there and just take Baron at this point? I mean, SK Prime so far behind at this stage, can't really challenge them for it. Then again, they can't really afford to give up another Baron either.
No, they pretty much just have to try go for the steal and then an all-in team fight. If they do win it and get the Baron, they are back in the game. But H2k is not just gonna start it here. They want to make sure SK Prime is forced back into their own base, want to place a lot of wards, and then try and catch them.
Certainly, they have a comp for that. Managing to land a charm, dark binding, anything really to get them started. SK Prime trying to push them back. They've actually isolated Febiven from the rest of the team. One thing they need to be really careful about here, though, is once again Nidalee in the top lane is all the way on the inhib tower. There's super minions in the mid lane, which has taken them a absolute ton of time to get through. Trashy actually going to be focused. Febiven goes down. Kiki's actually dying, but this whole time, Odo Amni is still pushing. Trashy will finally get picked off there by Z's, but they've still not sent anyone back. Double kill for Z's. Finally, Smitty J is actually recalling, but they're going to have lost the inhibitor by the time he gets there.
Really like the move here from H2k. They knew Smitty was going to recall, so they engaged, even though it was 5 members from SK Prime. Just went in for the engage, stopped his recall, and therefore had him joining the fight, get a second inhibitor now. Yes, okay, you lost 2 members, who cares? You just picked up inhibitor, base is now more than open, and it's all about Baron for H2k now. Go Baron, wait for super minions, go up and finish. Actually, you don't even need the Baron, but you can still go take it. It's a nice little bonus.
Draw them out here. So I'm going to come around the side, Z's missing a couple of shots, and Odo Amne at this point tanky enough to not really care about the AD carry. What the Fox is joining in though, and that might change things. Nice little binding again landing from AOD and SK-Gaming Prime. This is basically a desperation Baron at this point. Question is, can they finish it quick enough before H2k get around? Well,
it's going down pretty fast here. A lot of members still trailing behind from H2k. Fever doesn't even have ult for this. There could be a Baron.
Nidalee moving into it. Zaitan
no,
it's taken away. Trashy able to get that one, and now Febiven joining in with the rest of the team, and that is 4 kills. The Baron over to H2k, and this will probably be the winning move right here. See Nidalee actually coming around the side, will actually catch these out. There is the spear coming in, and he's just going to jump straight on top of him. Flash away won't be enough. Z's goes down. It's an 8th for H2k, and they can just push for the win here in game 1.
Yeah, but SK Prime actually was a good call. They knew, okay, H2k coming from base here. Let's just try and burst down this Baron, take it, and look for the fight, or maybe just try and escape with the Baron buff. The game was over anyway.
So game number 1 of the best of 5 going over to H2k. And a very, very impressive start to this series. 8-3-8 for Ahri, 5-0-8 Nidalee. So, about all those mid lane bans with Ahri still getting through and carrying like that, might as well just left them all open.
So, Akali was picked as the very last pick here from SK Prime against Ahri in the mid lane. What the Fox actually had a good start. He were like 10 CS ahead. But then as soon as February hit level 6, landed a charm, went all in, killed him.